San Francisco 49ers have traded into the number 3 pick. That is major. San Francisco traded the number 12 pick for 2021, a first and a third rounder for 2022, and the first rounder for 2023 for this year's third round pick. So Miami got a haul of draft picks for this number 3 pick in this draft. So keeping that in mind, San Francisco gave up a lot to move up to this 3 spot.
Yep.
Who are they targeting with this move?
When they made this move, I mean, they're not trading up to get an offensive lineman. You know, I mean, they're definitely going quarterback. Yeah. You've had the talks of being so rocky with Jimmy Garoppolo, and I was never a Jimmy G hater, but I feel like the book is out on him now. We actually know who Jimmy Garoppolo is, and unfortunately, he is who we thought he was. This guy's really only played 1 full season, given he's a 22-8 guy with a 13-3 record going to the Super Bowl. So do your math there. He's only played 1 full NFL season. I mean, you even had talks about him being the backup in New England. He wasn't able to, had a stint there. He wasn't able to stay healthy.
Nope.
And then also you've got
2 of the 4.
There you go. And you've got guys in New England saying, is this really our guy? Like, could this really be our dude? And when you've got past talks like that, what makes you think you can urge back to bringing that same narrative, considering everything just happened in free agency with New England and what they're trying to do right now? Them trading up. I mean, I'm going to say right now, if whoever doesn't go to either Wilson or Fields, I think that's who San Francisco got to take, because you look at Justin Fields, the way he can actually fit into that offense. You look at, since Ryan Day took the program over, he has actually been able to implement some of those Shanahan schemes into that Ohio State offense. They like to run the wide spread. They like to run some of the zones. And you know that Justin Fields can move you on the bootlegs as well. Get you out there with the screen passes. You see a lot of similarities from that Ohio State offense to that Niners offense. And it goes back to the Shanahan. I mean, the Shanahan effect. You've got so many disciples of him. You've got Mike Shanahan that's doing what he did, teaching his son Kyle Shanahan to be so creative with the offense. And now you've got this going into college. But when you can be comfortable there and then also translate to the NFL, it just feels too simple for you. Like there's going to be no hurdle, it feels like anyways, for Justin Fields to get over. But you look at the Super Bowl year with Jimmy G, going back to him a little bit, because some people are going to be upset necessarily with Jimmy G not getting his thing. In the Super Bowl year, he was a good quarterback. He was top 8 in plenty of categories, passer rating, touchdowns, interceptions, yards. I mean, the guy was up there. But let's also not forget what type of offensive line he had. He was working with an amazing offensive line. He was working with an amazing running game. San Francisco ran the ball that year almost 60% of the time. There's a reason Jimmy G threw 8 passes in the NFC title game. He didn't even throw 60 passes in the playoffs, And if we're really being serious, the one throw San Francisco needed him to make, he overshot Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl. That doesn't help your case, man. Unfortunately, it doesn't. When you're kind of already walking on eggshells because you come into San Francisco, you go 5-0 at the end of your first year there. Then you play a couple games and boom, the ACL goes out. And I feel for you there. I do. Then you come in, have your Super Bowl year, but then after that, it's just struggling to stay healthy. And we know the Niners were the team that really had the injury bug going on, and it hit Kittle, and it hit the running backs, and it hit Sherman at one point. So it's really tough with what's happened with the Niners right now, and they want to fix it. That's why they made the move. The Falcons didn't want to go. The number 5 pick didn't want to go. They know the Jets and the Jags aren't moving, so they said, okay, fine. We'll leap everybody, and we'll go to number 3, and we'll take a quarterback. So whoever doesn't go to the Jets, whether it's Wilson or Fields, I think that's who San Francisco has to take, because, Zach Wilson was in an interview actually early January, and I want to say it might have just been like a BYU podcast, and they were saying, don't name a team, just give me a scheme that you feel like you would be comfortable with. And without hesitation, he said, I'd love to play for Kyle Shanahan. I'm familiar with that system. I've studied his system growing up. That's a guy that I've looked up to. So Shanahan's there. Shanahan is hearing that from him. And I don't want to hear this talk about Mac Jones. Get the hell out of here with Mac Jones going to the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners would botch that pick if they pick Mac Jones. And I'm being so serious about that. They do not need to take Mac Jones. It's got to be Justin Fields or Zach Wilson with the number 3 pick. That's who they have to move up and take, because they've got questions about the quarterback, man. And this is a team, we were saying it, they have no business picking that high. And didn't they?
Not a team that good.
Didn't they, after the Super Bowl year, make a crazy-ass move to, pick 12th overall? Didn't they do that?
Did they? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure they did, bro, because I was like, how is a team who just won the Super Bowl going to be a top 15 pick? I'm pretty sure they moved up to get the 12th pick the year after the Super Bowl. And then you look at them moving up again. They're trying to make leaps and bounds because this is a team that already, if you forget about the 3rd pick that they're pushing for, they were going to be at the bare minimum a top 10 team, bringing everybody back healthy. We know what the defense is. This team is going to pick a quarterback at number 3. They have to.
I mean, they've got to. They come and go with Jimmy. Like,
right.
His health determines what their season will look like.
Exactly.
Clearly, he's good when he's in, but they have no idea if he's going to be able to play.
Right.
I mean, I know you said either Fields or Wilson. Really, San Francisco is the best landing spot for all the quarterbacks.
Right. It's a perfect
That's
setup.
why Zach Wilson said he wants to go there, because he knows of all the teams picking this high in the draft, that is far and away the best place for you to be successful, because this team has no business picking this high.
Right.
Like, you're getting a Super Bowl caliber roster that completely was decimated by injury last season. Now everybody will be back, and you get to walk into a ready-made team.
Yep.
But I'm not sold on Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
I think the Jets will pick him because that's what the Jets do, so they won't have to worry about it. I mean,
I just had a B.
He shouldn't be picked that high, so they should absolutely go for Justin Fields. If the Jets actually make the smart play and take Justin Fields, I think they need to go for Trey Lance.
Yep.
They don't need to pick Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Zach Wilson will be okay in San Francisco's offense because of the way their offense is constructed.
Right.
But there are better looks for it. I mean, clearly Justin Fields is better. Trey Lance, looking at him, he has almost the exact same stature as Justin Fields. He reminds you of a Deshaun or of a Cam when you watch him.
Right.
I mean, the dude is fast. He's really strong. He was playing out there in North Dakota State. I mean, they don't have all of the extra competition out there, but if you compare what he did to what Wentz did, they both won national championships out there, but he threw for almost as many yards. He was about 300 yards short of what Wentz threw for, but he threw for 3 more touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Yeah.
28 and 0? I mean, you're talking about there's no competition. He didn't throw a single interception.
Right.
I mean, Carson Wentz had 25 and 10, and he was highly regarded, and people are still like that. I don't understand how people are so high. They're so high on him, even in the NFL. Yeah. But his performances were nowhere near as impressive as what Trey Lance was able to do. And on top of that, he had 1,100 yards rushing and 14 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this dude is a complete package. He might be a little bit rougher than what Justin Fields is, but since you still got Jimmy, you don't even have to play him yet. You can bring him in there and let him learn behind Jimmy. Because despite Jimmy's injury issues, Jimmy spent 3 years learning the game behind Brady. Right. And if you've seen clips and videos, they have Jimmy Garoppolo videos where him emulating Brady the same way you saw the Kobe Jordan videos where they cut him and it's like the same guy.
Literally the same moves,
like
pivot, everything.
Jimmy does the same thing Tom does, but not move-wise. It's the way he leads. He comes in, he says the same things, he has the same mannerisms, he makes the same reads. He prepares the same way because he spent 3 years just basically learning from the GOATs. And he's like, me, who's a better person to emulate yourself from?
Exactly.
So if you bring in
Tom Brady, if that's okay with y'all.
If you bring in your young quarterback and you give him a half a season to sit behind Jimmy and let him figure out, like, yeah, this is how a championship quarterback prepares, and then put him in, you can go ahead and trade Jimmy, let your new guy come in, and you'll actually get some really good draft capital for Jimmy at that point. I mean, you know he's going to be successful, but they're not looking to keep him. Yeah. They know he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I feel like there's not a place for Jimmy G in the NFL just because the book is out on him. Like, it's kind of like with a lot of quarterbacks, like it's got to be set up, which, I mean, that's just really the, you know, the nature of the NFL. I mean, you got to be truly special to overcome terrible coaching and, you know, subpar talent to really be a special team. But, you know, it's just got to all be there for him. And it's like, okay, can he stay healthy? I mean, can he seriously stay healthy? That's always been the question. And here we have it again. And when he got hurt last year, what's crazy is I wasn't even thinking about the lingering injuries. And then I was like, wow, here we go again. You know, San Francisco was looking to be that team, and we know they had the injuries outside of Jimmy G, but for your quarterback to be that inconsistent, he got pulled a couple times, actually, which was crazy. Like, you're bringing in his backups just to make throws that you know he couldn't make. Yeah, that's embarrassing. So the book is out on Jimmy, bro. I don't think anybody in the league right now is looking for a quarterback that's played one full season, has to have everything perfectly set up, and honestly is only going to make you an intermediate throw when you need it. I mean, I'm just being honest.
And has a big contract.
Exactly. Precisely. So
yeah, I mean, it's all bad for Jimmy. He's going to end up being a backup somewhere.
he is.
More than likely.
He is. That's exactly what's going to happen. Unfortunately, people are going to blast me for this, but I kind of am feeling Jimmy G slipping into that Mitchell Trubisky category just a little bit, because it's like, where does he really belong? Who would really take a chance on him? Who would really say, okay, like I said, who wants to bring in a guy who's played one full season and who's been in the NFL since like 2015?
Mitch chose to be that.
Right.
that tells you everything.
Right.
Say he actually had offers and he chose to go be a backup in Buffalo.
Yep. I think that shows you the confidence of him too, honestly, because
Who wants this guy?
Right. Mitch never seemed like he was just completely tapped in. Like his confidence was completely there. He always seemed a little reserved at the podium. Obviously his play on the field. I mean, he had the one good season where you felt like the Bears were going to make a run, and then it's like they haven't recovered from the double doink, with Cody Parkey. So, but I hate to see it happen for Jimmy G, because what he's capable of, but we find ourselves talking about potential so much. You got to perform. It's just like in life. You can talk, and we can watch that past tape. But what are you doing now? The book is out on him, man. I don't know if there's a spot for Jimmy G in the NFL, and that's just being honest.